Hello, and welcome to What Leadership Could Be, DAG style versus modern corporate culture. Also, in the interest of full disclosure, full transparency, I have my assistant sitting with me during this recording. So if you see something that looks like a fox ear popping up on the camera, you will know why. He's a lot cuter than I am. I really wish that he could give this presentation, but onward and upward. Leadership is one of the most important forces shaping our world, but not all leadership is created equal. Today, we'll explore two very different styles of leadership: the ethical servant leadership of Dag Hammarskjöld versus the aggressive cutthroat approach that dominates much of modern corporate culture. What can we learn from Dag's leadership, and how can we apply those lessons today? So let's dive in. Leadership can be a force for good or a tool for power. Some leaders serve with integrity and vision, while others rule through fear and personal ambition. Today, we see a stark contrast between ethical leadership and the type of leadership that's often rewarded in corporate environments. But does it have to be this way? Before we go on, in case you're new to this channel, new to my work, and you're wondering, well, who are you and why should we listen? My name is Sarah Causey, and my assistant, by the way, my assistant tonight is Teddy, in case you're wondering about him. I like to call him Theodore Fox. My name is Sarah Causey, and I'm the owner of Causey Consulting LLC, and I'm also the author of Dag's biography, Decoding the Unicorn, a new look at Dag Hammarskjöld. I hope that it's a compelling exploration of how one of history's most inspiring leaders mastered the art of quiet leadership. My background is in HR, staffing, and leadership development, and I bring, I hope, a unique perspective to Dag's timeless legacy, making his lessons accessible to readers, leaders, entrepreneurs, and changemakers of today. I try to shine a light on his humility, accountability, and the importance of fostering inclusion and cultural sensitivity in leadership. Through my writing and my content creation, I also hope that I inspire others to lead with purpose and compassion and to unlock their full potential. So here we have two leadership styles that we can juxtapose. On the one side, Dag Hammarskjöld, the diplomatic leader, ethical, thoughtful, servant leadership, long-term vision. And then we have corporate leaders, the cutthroat boss, ruthless, short-term gains, power-obsessed, puts profit over people. Dag was an ethical, long-term thinker who led through service, while many modern leaders, especially in corporate settings, are rewarded for short-term profit and personal gain. So let's take a closer look at these differences. Here's our handy-dandy chart: ethical leadership versus cutthroat leadership. So on one side, again, we have Dag Hammarskjöld's style: service-oriented, long-term vision, thoughtful and reflective, valued diplomacy, maintained integrity. And then we have modern corporate leadership, and I'm willing to bet every single one of you watching this video has encountered this before. If you've been in the work world long enough, you've probably encountered them all. Self-serving, constantly focused on gains, reactive and aggressive, prefers dominance, plays office politics. So let's take a look also at decision-making styles. Dag's approach considered all perspectives, weighed ethical implications, and took responsibility for tough choices. Then on the other side, we have corporate leadership of today. Decisions are driven by profit and loss. Workers' well-being is ignored. Other people are always blamed for failures. The thing is, true leadership is not about making the fastest decision. It's about making the right one. Dag was known for his careful, ethical decision-making style. By contrast, corporate decision-making is often based on immediate financial returns, sometimes leading to unethical choices and the cutting of corners. When you strip leadership down to numbers, people suffer. Let's also consider the role of communication in leadership. Dag used diplomacy and humility. He listened more than he spoke. He valued transparency. Corporate leaders in modernity often use intimidation, PR spin, legal threats. They focus on controlling the narrative, and they dismiss dissenting voices. And one of the things that I want to point out here is that, to me, diversity, equity, and inclusion is not only about bringing in people from other backgrounds, other nations, a variety of races and orientations. It's also about diversity of thought. Your organization is not going to grow if everyone has to get into cult like groupthink. You must be one of us. You have to think the way that they do. We all have to agree on everything all the time. Otherwise, there's the door. That's absurd. Communication is one of the most telling aspects of a leader's character. Dag valued diplomacy, humility, and transparency. Meanwhile, many corporate leaders today rely on public relations spin, intimidation tactics, and outright misinformation to maintain control. In which kind of environment would you rather work? Let's also take a look at leadership under pressure. True leadership is tested under pressure. Dag remained calm, resilient, and mission focused. Even when facing global crises, there were people who thought of Dag when he was Secretary General as being like the president or the prime minister of the world. He really had a lot of responsibility, but he maintained his calm and his composure. Many corporate executives, on the other hand, react aggressively, they blame others, and they make rash decisions that cause harm. Resilience and grace under fire are what set great leaders apart from those who crumble under scrutiny. Let's also take a look at the impact of leadership styles. Dag's style engaged and motivated teams. It instilled trust in leadership, and it inspired the mission. Modern corporate leadership, however, leads to high turnover and burnout. Look at the statistics. Look at how many people report that they're disengaged at work and all they think about is clocking out to leave and do something else. It breeds fear and uncertainty, and it also makes people focus on basic survival. You're not thinking about innovation. You're not thinking about how to grow yourself as an employee, let alone how to grow the company, if you're always in this root chakra space of basic survival. Dog eat dog, everybody stabbing each other in the back. It's every person for themselves. People don't thrive in those kinds of environments. They just try to hang on by the skin of their teeth. So that's the thing. Leadership doesn't only impact the leader, it also affects everyone else around them. Ethical leadership, like Hammarskjöld's, inspires trust, motivation, and commitment. Cutthroat leadership leads to burnout, high turnover, and fear-based work environments. I know some managers love their fear-based work environments, but nobody else does. Short-term authoritarian leadership might deliver fast results, but in the long run, it is highly destructive. Ethical leadership builds trust, sustainability, and stability. Cutthroat leadership creates exploitation, short-term profits only, and eventual collapse. The best organizations, like the best nations, aren't built on fear. They're built on trust and vision. So what are lessons from Dag Hammarskjöld for today's leaders? Lead with integrity. Prioritize long-term impact over quick wins. Dag famously said that acrobats, jugglers, lion tamers, circus performers get a quick round of applause from people that are sitting under the big top watching. But it's the patient builder who actually gets long-term, meaningful, lasting results. And I think we could all do to remember that. It's not always about the short-term flash in the pan sensation. It's about the patient builder who really puts in the time and effort to get that long-lasting result. Listen more than you speak. Make decisions based on ethics, not ego. Dag's leadership wasn't only effective, it was sustainable. If more leaders today embraced these principles, we'd see healthier workplaces, better global cooperation, and more sustainable progress. So here's the million-dollar question, so to speak. Can corporate leadership change? The good news is that leadership is not set in stone. Companies and organizations that prioritize ethical and people focused leadership are already outperforming those that are stuck in outdated authoritarian models. The future of leadership is not about power, it's about purpose. And that's a lesson that all of us can take to heart. I believe we need more introverted, thoughtful, and ethical leaders in the business world. The door must be open to quiet leadership and servant leadership. And when I say servant leadership, I don't mean groveling, I don't mean behaving as a doormat. I think that some people have warped the idea of servant leadership to mean that you just, oh, please, Mr. Client. Oh, please, I want this job. Oh, I'll do anything. No, that's being a doormat. That's not being a servant leader. A servant leader is someone who doesn't allow their ego to dictate everything that happens. They don't look to blame other people. They don't point fingers. It's really about how can I motivate others? How can I inspire others? How can I lift other people up? It's like the famous Kennedy quote that a rising tide lifts all boats. Leadership should do that. You can also check out Decoding the Unicorn to explore Dag's quiet leadership model. I talk about it extensively in the book, and I also have Decoding Dag segments to really help break it down for the readers. You can also check out my program for introverts, HSPs, and creatives, Quiet, Brave, Bold, at quietbravebold.com. You can also share this video if you enjoyed it to inspire change in how we select our leaders. So, as we close, and I want to thank you for watching first and foremost, I also want to leave you with this thought. Leadership is not about how much power you can hold, it's about how much good you can do. Dag Hammarskjöld understood this, and the world needs more leaders like him. So, my question, my challenge for all of you is, are you willing to be one of them? Food for thought. See you next time.